What's up, everybody? Happy Thanksgiving. My name is Caleb Ochoa, also known as NFL Caleb 22. This is Good Friends, Better Rivals. Hope you're having a great holiday. Um, Hope you enjoyed all the food, family, and but yeah, I always stick to the three F's when it comes to Thanksgiving. That's why it's probably my favorite holiday, just because I get to watch football all day. But anyways, this is Good Friends, Better Rivals, and I do have and my better betting rival with me, Derek Weatherly. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good today, man. Hope everybody's having a good holiday. Hope everybody's able to be fat and happy and relaxed.
For sure, man. Yep. Yep. Well, we're gonna go over. We're gonna switch it up today. We're gonna go over last week first. Talk about a few games. Then we're gonna get into tonight's games, and then we'll pick the games for the rest of the week. So I'm gonna start off, and I'm gonna start talking about my Cowboys and how disappointing and awful we look right now. Uh, but for last games, Cowboys at Chiefs, we lose 9-19. Uh, Offense was completely awful. It was really bad, and it just seems like every time we don't have Tyron Smith in there, we just can't block anybody. Dak is just getting killed out there. The Chiefs don't even have that good of a defense, and they're just sacking the crap out of them. And I just don't get why they just don't want to block when Tyron's out. We also didn't have Cooper. We lost Lamb in the game. He got no one to throw to at that point. The receivers that were backing them up didn't step up. They were dropping balls. Um, yeah, it's just we run the ball. We should have ran it a lot more. We only ran it 16 times and 43 passes, and it was still a winnable game. It's still a winnable game. Still close most of the game. There's no reason to just pass it all the damn time. That's pretty much what Chiefs are expecting you to do, and that's what they want you to do because they're putting a bunch of guys in the box because they know the receivers ain't gonna do nothing. But still, you got to try, man. You got to push it in there. You got to try to run the ball, and, and yeah, defense still played the one positive that came out of it. Defense still played pretty well. They held Mahomes under 20 points. When you hold the Chiefs under 20 points, I mean, you should win. You should, especially with our offense. That's a win right there. But they didn't show up and they didn't win. Mahomes didn't really have a great game. Like he had no touchdowns, only threw 260 and a pick. So yeah, it really wasn't their offense. It was their defense mainly in our inept offense. But what do you think about it, Derek?
Um, I agree with a lot of what you said. Going into that game, I thought that was a game where the spread seemed to be wrong. Cowboys were the underdogs coming into this game. Um, like you said, the wide receivers that were there, they weren't stepping up. Um, the pressure we were seeing out of KC and especially their defensive line. I think it was Chris Jones, somebody they moved back to the interior, uh, who seemed to be playing better, being back at defensive tackle and more on the inside, going up against your centers and guards. But kind of like what you said, if they getting pressure on your quarterback, wide receivers dropping balls, not stepping up, you don't have that confidence that you could possibly squeeze one in to a guy. That's what leads to bad plays. And, like you said, you got a high powered offense that only managed to get 9 points on the day. There's no way that makes sense. Defense shut down a high powered, or well, a potential high powered offense. 19 points. It doesn't matter who you're playing. If you only give up 19 points, you should be out there winning the game.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I didn't understand. We just couldn't get anything. It just looked like the Broncos game again. Our offense just didn't want to do anything. Yeah, just really bad. Parsons still looked good though. He got like 5 sacks in the previous 2 weeks. So I mean, he really does look like defensive player of the year. So at least, if anything, I can be really happy about that because he looks awesome out there. But yeah, what's up, Star Drew? KC defense, that's a different maker. Yeah, it was, but it shouldn't have been because their defense is not good. They don't have good defense, but somehow they played great on Sunday. But it is what it is. What's up, Brandy? Happy Thanksgiving to you. I could have had a better Thanksgiving, um, but it was still decent.
Don't worry, folks. We'll get to that.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that game. We'll go into more disappointment a little later on. But next thing I want to talk about is the Colts. Yeah, big upset. One of the biggest upsets of the week. Because they were 7 point underdog. The Colts were. They won 41-15. They just beat down the Bills. Pretty surprising, considering Bills I do think are a pretty good team, but the Colts has been on that uptick. And Jonathan Taylor had an amazing game. I mean, 185 yards, 5 total touchdowns. That's great, man. Um, it's pretty much the biggest reason for this Colts turnaround of their season. He is the reason, because certainly isn't Wentz. But I mean, Wentz has been playing better, but I wouldn't say he's the reason. Um, but yeah, he's been playing great. He seems like the top running back in the league. He is with the most rushing yards. Um, yeah, yeah. Bills lost 2 of the last 3 games. Got completely dismantled in this game, and yeah, now it's like kind of in question whether you're going to win the division or not. But what do you think about this beatdown of the Bills, Eric?
uh, Surprised that it was a beatdown. Yes. Surprised that they lost the game. Not so much. I kind of felt that that was one of those games where you might see it go down to like a field goal, maybe stay tight, whether it be a little bit more on the higher scoring end. But yeah, I don't think many people saw uh, that beating that we saw them take. But when you have a back like Jonathan Taylor, who's been consistent over his time with the Colts and only proven to get better, they've improved their offensive line over the time that he's been with the team. Um, you got Carson Wentz, playing good, not losing games. That's the important part with some players, especially when you're talking quarterbacks. They ain't got to be great. They don't have to go out there and be these next level guys. But if they're smart enough to at least not, even in some cases, you might settle for a sack 10, 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage because it wasn't them chucking the ball downfield just, carelessly. Like, yes, that sucks to take that kind of sack, but even still, that's on the smarter side of the spectrum because you just didn't heave it downfield. I wish I could recall who it was off the top of my head, but a week or two back, I saw somebody just chucking moon balls downfield. Like literally. Like me and another guy was watching the game. Like we had to stop and look at each other. Like, wait, like, can we get the hang time counter on this thing? Because I mean, so yeah, there's definitely when you got somebody like that that's not losing the game, playing well, you got something consistent that you can rely on. Who in this case we're talking about, even if Derrick Henry was healthy, we're talking about the number 2 rusher in the league, number 1 rusher in the league. You know, it's not a fluke that you go out there and put up 5 touchdowns when you've been consistently an impact player over the course of the season so far in the run game.
Yeah. What do you think the Colts going forward? Now the Titans don't have Derrick Henry; they just lost last week. What do you think their chances are when maybe taking the division?
I think it's going to come down to Carson Wentz. I think that's going to be the wild card in this scenario. Uh, because I mean, like I just said, what we've seen out of Jonathan Taylor over his time, he's only gotten better. So it's kind of hard to step in and be like, okay, he's going to start playing worse, or the offensive line is going to start magically playing worse. Because from what we're seeing, it's been consistent the whole time around. I think the only time where there may have been some issue was when Quentin Nelson was out at the beginning of the year, and that first week or two back, coming back to the team. And from there on, it's basically been steady. Um, I don't know his stats off the top of my head. It may not be a standout week every week, but when you got that consistent threat and that consistent, I don't want to say workhorse back, but you know, guy you can hand the ball off to and he potentially bust off a 20, 30, 40-yard run, or even take it all the way to the house. That's something that's great to lean on come late season.
Yeah, I still think the Titans will overall take it. Can't I still won't trust wins. Um, so that's where I'm at right now. But we'll get to it, Brandy. And I didn't brag. Just just told you the truth a little bit. All right, man. Next game I got Packers Vikings. Vikings get the upset on the Packers. Not that it was a huge upset because line was only like 2 points or something. Um, but Packers started off slow. Um, they let the Vikings get an early lead on them, and they just didn't really kind of that kind of led to them going back and forth. That was at the end. Cousins played well because wasn't in prime time, so he's gonna play pretty well when it's not on prime time. Um, yeah, so it did become a shootout. Vikings end up winning 34-31. Um, they get back into that wild card race. And yeah, the Vikings look pretty dangerous because the reason why I think they're pretty dangerous because they always play no matter who they're playing, whether they're playing good team, bad team, they always keep it close. So I think that's a dangerous team to me because they're gonna take it to you. But what are your thoughts on this, man?
I didn't get to see this game, but one thing I did hear some about that I think clearly kind of showed up some against the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers has a fractured toe at the moment. Uh, and not to say, that it'll cause him to miss time or anything, but you definitely see in other sports how a foot injury, even not necessarily a major one, can really hinder a player. And when you start talking about the quarterback, you know, the first thing you hear talk about when it comes to being a good quarterback, footwork. Well, not even so much just moving your feet, but generating that power and that energy. And it comes from a good base and those small movements and tweaks and turns. A lot of the stuff we've seen, like a Josh Allen working on in the off season, just those micro movements. And when you disrupt something, it can affect you in a great way. Uh, but yeah, like you said, the game was the spread in most places, kind of that 2.5, 3 point spread.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, this makes 3 or 4 games the Vikings have gone to overtime in,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even more. So like you said, they keep it close. I mean, they're not afraid of anybody. At least, not to say they think they can beat anybody, but they're definitely not afraid of anybody.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, the North could get a little interesting because that win over the Packers, come the end of the season, depending on how records line up, you might see that become a potential tiebreaker for something in the
Yeah.
division, or even potentially a wild card.
Yeah. Definitely. Even for the Packers going forward, if they want to get the top seeding, that's another loss in the NFC, and that's never good. Like that's definitely a tiebreaker for that against whether you're talking about the Cardinals or the Rams or whoever. Um, but yeah, I don't think the Packers are in too much trouble. I think that once if Rodgers does get fully healthy with that toe, I think he'll be back. I think the Packers be back and playing good football like they do. But next game, I got Ravens stay ahead in AFC North after a pretty god awful rough game to watch against the Bears. They went 16-13. Lamar was out. You got Huntley in there. And he was struggling. But even if he wasn't, I mean Lamar was struggling too. So it really didn't matter who was in there. They were struggling on offense. That's the point. They scored the last 2 weeks less than 20 points. That's some pretty bad offense. Yeah, Fields goes out. Dalton kind of comes in there, kind of gets the lead with like 2 minutes left, but Bears were just unable to stop the Ravens offense, and then they go ahead, they win the game. But yeah, but at least the Ravens still get the win. They still stay atop of the AFC North. So, what you think about this, man?
Ah, man, the Ravens can kiss my butt because they could have covered the spread. You know, they could have made sure Lamar Jackson was healthy. Because damn it, if this man ain't sick, got the sniffles, got the coughs, got fever, and done got COVID. Like, please get this man a bubble, like his own personal walk-in traveling bubble, because this man needs to be healthy. But yeah, no, I pretty much as someone where I had Baltimore minus 3.5 before the news, the Lamar news and everything came out.
Yeah, that me too. I had the Bears actually. I picked this game right even before the Lamar news came out. I picked the Bears, so I was glad he was out because I think it helped me even more. But yeah, the Bears covered, so I'm extremely happy about that.
Now,
What
I
do
will say something that I've sort of paid attention to this year that's been pretty consistent. Bears do not cover their team points,
you
wherever that number is typically set at. There's probably only been two, three, maybe four games where they've scored more than 20 points. Um, short of a place putting the number up at literally at like 16, 16 and a half points. I mean, week in and week out, you're talking about pretty much covering if that thing says 20 and up.
Mhm.
Because, you know, they're lucky if they get in the end zone once, regardless if they win or not.
Yeah. But like I said the last week, and all three of the Ravens matchups against the NFC North, all of them were like pretty much the similar point spreads, but they won the games, but they didn't cover, and that's why I picked them. It's really on that, and it hit again, and that was pretty good for me because and win that game. But that's pretty much what I was going off of. And maybe it'll happen again with the Packers. Maybe I'll bet the same way, depending on what that point spread is. But yeah, I was pretty happy about that. Um, yeah. So what do you think in this AFC North race? Who's coming out of there? Because is this if the Ravens offense continues to struggle? Like, I mean, how much are they gonna win? Like, how can they win?
Yeah, but the
There.
question is, I mean, at the moment, who really can catch them?
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
think Bengals got a chance. I don't think the Browns are going to do anything, and yeah, I don't know what the Steelers are right now, but I
that's
think
what
the
I'm
only one that
saying.
has
Like,
the chance is the Bengals.
okay, but just right there, you already eliminated essentially two opponents of the division. I think they have the talent. I don't think they would be able to win enough games because at this point in the season, you're talking about needing a winning streak plus the team ahead of you losing a couple games still to get into it. If you're talking about winning the division.
Yeah.
Uh, So yeah, I mean, I definitely think that somebody can make a run at it, even if Baltimore is only able to go out there and get one or two more victories, maybe three. Right now where they're sitting. What is it, 7-3, something like that.
Yeah, the Ravens 7-3 right now.
Okay, so yeah, You start getting into that 9-win, 10-win season, even if they only win half their games left on the schedule. Uh, so yeah, it's going to become a question of who can catch them at this point, even if they do fall apart.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So next we got Eagles and Washington both win their games. They both gained ground back on the Cowboys. They get both back-to-back wins, and both teams are playing better. They both got pretty big wins too. You know, Eagles get a nice comfortable win versus the Saints. Hurts ran for like 3 touchdowns, 242 yards. As
Who
expected.
hasn't got a nice, comfortable win against the Saints other than like Green Bay?
Exactly.
I mean,
Uh,
Sam Darnold and the Panthers got a nice, comfortable win against the Saints.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Eagles kind of been playing crappy teams, so they've kind of been, racking up wins in the win column. And Washington gets a big upset against Panthers, ruining Cam's big homecoming and against Ron Rivera. And yeah, the defense looking pretty crappy at the beginning, but they started to show up a little bit, and now Washington's gaining ground. So yeah, do you see either one of those overtaking the Cowboys, or you think Cowboys still got this unlocked?
Um, Honestly, I think it's going to take a lot for the Cowboys to lose the division. You know, we've seen crazier things happen, so I won't, sit here and be like, I'll be, oh my God, I won't. This will shock me to my core that it occurred. But I don't think Washington has the offensive components. Like we saw Heineke have to make a number of plays just to keep that game close. It was still a one possession game. You go down, score a touchdown, you win the game. Um, and like at no point in time did the game ever feel out of hand. You know, so I don't think. And then their issues, defense, injuries. Yeah, I don't. They may be end up being in good contention for a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Yeah, I don't see them really having a shot at the division. Um, don't. I was gonna say, don't y'all still have a few divisional games between
Yeah,
both of
pretty
them?
much most of them are like,
That's what I
like,
thought. But
like two.
yeah, I was gonna say short of a scenario where one of those teams wins like both games. I don't see the Cowboys not winning the division. Uh, Now on the Panthers game, I will say those that paid attention in the LBHT Discord, I did have the Ace Boogie special on for the Washington game. Cam Newton, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, over 29 rushing
Nice,
yards, plus 550. Cash it all day. Boogie on.
nice, nice. But how do you think your Panthers doing going forward?
Honestly, it's a scenario where it's too hard to predict what games are potential wins. Uh, I've been said in the article I do for lbhshow.com that Cam's return isn't going to be about wins or W's or losses. It's going to be about how this team fights, how they play. It was a very common topic I've heard among fans and in circles before his signing and return to the team, that the energy wasn't there, the team wasn't fighting for themselves, they weren't standing up for each other. The locker room was falling apart, people were asking questions, had Matt Rule lost the locker room, everything you did not ever hear in a Carolina locker room. Because yes, Cam's Newton his arrival originally sort of went in line with Ron Rivera, but even before that there was rarely uh major issues in the locker room, even when you go back to the John Fox era. And not that things didn't occur and didn't happen. We've all heard the stories of Steve Smith breaking jaws and knocking people out in practice. Okay, that happen. It's that simple. But there was never those. The locker room is in turmoil. There's disarray, distractions going on. That's never a thing in Carolina. So when you see a team disinterested, not fighting for each other, lack of energy, like that's unacceptable. And so Cam coming back, that's the first thing that's going to change. You hear press conferences, oh, it's about accountability. It's about stepping up. You know, like you said, we back, baby.
Yeah, sure. How's your betting week go overall last week?
Oh well, if it wasn't for that Ace Boogie special, I'd be a mad son of a gun.
Yeah,
0-5. But like I be telling people on the show, the way I've been running this year, fade me, please fade me. I will be mad if you don't fade me, because if that don't say it. Because last week it was 1-4, so if you fade me, that was a 4-1 week. This week you'd have gone 5-0. Might as well have dropped it on a parlay. But I had the Ace Boogie special, so if you happen to end up in the Discord, it is what it is, because that seems to be where I be making my money. But yeah, so I basically broke
yeah,
even though I hit a plus 500 parlay.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel you, man. I've not been doing good. I did a tiny bit better. I went 2-3, but still losing. I'm like a losing streak going on. Can't seem to get out of. But yeah, hopefully we do better this week.
Yeah,
I
I was gonna say that's the goal. That's always the goal.
yeah. All right. Well, that's all the games. That the big games of last week. We're gonna get into the games that happened today. This Thanksgiving, and we're gonna start with the morning game and that trash that was on, because I don't understand why the NFL still wants to give us the garbage ass Lions every freaking Thanksgiving, wanting us to suffer through that. Like, who wants to sit there, eat their goddamn Thanksgiving dinner to watch that mess? Like, seriously. Like, I don't understand that.
I
Especially if,
legitimately want to know how many people is eating a Thanksgiving meal at 1 o'clock no 12 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's when that game started.
well, I
Like,
mean, we kind of eat Thanksgiving at like midday. We were actually eating it during the Cowboys game. But so some people do that.
but see that shit, yeah. But midday for you is 3 o'clock here,
I
so
know,
that
but I'm saying if you're on the East, if we were lived on the East Coast, we would be probably eating during that game too. So yeah.
yeah. But you wasn't, so see, it don't apply. Like either way, you know, yes, I agree with you. There's no reason that the Lions should be on. Uh, we kind of went through this with the Redskins for like a decade or so, and then they started phasing them out, and it was like, okay, we're making a little progress here. Cowboys ain't always had the best seasons, but they
Yeah,
at
but
least
see, the
show
thing
up.
is, the thing is, the Cowboys are loved and hated. It's like you either love them or you hate them. And if they lose, then you had a good Thanksgiving. You watched us lose, and you're all satisfied. But if we win, we're at least going to give you an entertaining game.
That's what I'm
That's
saying. They at least show up. I can live with that, regardless of what side you sit on. Uh, so yeah, the fact that we got to see the Lions and the Bears play, and yet again, like I was just saying, Bears don't cover 19 points. Somehow they still win this game. Uh, but yeah, if the team totals and point totals is something you're on, uh, the Bears are almost a guaranteed under every week.
yeah, it's a bad tradition, Hagen. It's a tradition that needs to stop. It's horrible. I don't give a damn. It's any tradition. It's stupid. Stop it. But anyways, the game was terrible, very bad. Um, both quarterbacks. It's Dalton versus Golf. I mean, what do you really expect from this? But
Hold up, because Dalton got me 15 nice fantasy points.
yeah,
Right?
he did pretty well. I mean, he had a couple turnovers up, um, but he was placing Fields. Fields was hurt for this game or in last game. He and he got the win 16-14. Um, he had a decent day, but yeah, and that in Darnell he got to Darnell Mooney pretty, and he had a big day. he had no run game. He was using the tight end a lot, and Goff couldn't throw over 210 yards. Um, yeah, the Bears defense played well even without they were out without Khalil Mack. So but they still played pretty good. Um, yeah, even though it went down to the wire, still was entertaining. Still was awful to watch.
Oh yeah, no, it was garbage. There was so many penalties in that game. I
Yeah,
happened to just have it up and on because it was Thanksgiving, there was football. I was working on my current article, and just every other time I look up, penalty. All right, penalty. All right, penalty. Like that was the theme of today's game. You got all the oranges and reds and browns where the refs felt that it needed to be a little more yellow in the color schemes, and so them flags was flying all game long.
yeah, it was bad. Um, yeah. So what do you think? Do the Bears stick with Dawn, or do they go back to Fields?
There's no telling with that coaching staff. Because Fields wasn't. I mean, at least statistically, uh, he wasn't playing no better than what we saw today out of Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wasn't watching closely enough. I know I did see Dalton make a few
Yeah,
bonehead
the one
type
the ones
throws.
the Mooney were good plays.
Yeah, no, he had some good plays. Like overall, he was not playing horribly. But you know, I think the play we're seeing out of him is on the same level as what we're seeing out of Fields. That's why I think the real question is, I think it boils down to the coaching staff because
How long is that coaching staff going to be there? Because there was rumors that Nagy was out after this game, but that seemed to be retracted quickly. So
well,
you,
see, that's just it. Honestly, I didn't give those rumors much thought just because of the way the story presented itself. The fact that they approached him and said, "Hey, we're gonna fire you, but if you don't mind coaching this game, you know, like let's think about that. You gonna give me a chance to go out here in front of the national media, in front of the entire nation, and potentially screw you over?
well,
Yeah, I
it,
might take that opportunity. Like who's the starting quarterback? Oh, hey, who feels like starting today? Oh, yeah, we're sticking the lineman in at quarterback. Yeah, get your big fat ass out there.
yeah,
But yeah, no, like if the rumors were more your traditional, he might be gone after this game, something to that effect. I think they'd maybe have more traction and carry more weight. But the fact that it basically from the time that the it initially broke, it was, oh, he's going to be fired after this game. He was told this, and they still expect him to coach this game. That's
yeah,
just, that doesn't sound right.
yeah. Um, I don't know what they're doing over there. Um, maybe they get back in the wild card race. Maybe they don't. They're just trying to figure out a quarterback right now. And maybe the Lions do tie their record for 0-16. Um, that'd be cool, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, come on, let's not even kid that in the inaugural year of the 18-week 17 game season, the Detroit Lions go 0-16, folks.
Yeah,
And if I'm not mistaken,
got a nice tie with that.
but that's what I'm saying. They would like officially be the first team to ever go 0-16 and twice, if I'm not mistaken. Like nobody's done it twice.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, man.
I mean, how many number one picks do you need to get it right? Like, I mean, seriously, like how many top 10 picks do you need to get? Right? They're in the top 10 all the time, and they still can't get it right. Like, what y'all doing? Like,
Well, see,
just
that's just it. For a stretch there, they weren't. And, like, at Megatron, they had Matthew Stafford. It was more a running back by committee, but you still had some veteran running backs. You had Ndamukong Suh on defense. Like, there were a good bit of picks that did work out from They drafted Stafford. They drafted Megatron. Everybody was like, "Who the hell is this dude, Calvin Johnson, and why in the hell are they drafting him this high?" Now we like, damn, Megatron left. Like, so they were, a number of picks did work out for him, but I think getting when they got rid of Dan Campbell, I think that's his name. Uh, Coach they had, I believe he went to Indianapolis after them, but he really turned it around there. He was, on the verge of playoffs. I think they were able to get a couple playoff berths, just weren't able to win. Um, but yeah, they booted him after like 3 seasons, and it's been all rebuilds since. And so, at this point, the surprise retiring of Stafford, I think, hurt him in a lot of ways because you know you can have a great quarterback, but if he ain't got nobody to throw the ball to, it's just that simple. You know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bucks with record was something like that. I mean, they went a long stretch without winning. They went like 2 seasons, but they got a win during the '70s. But yeah, I mean, them plans look. If they go on 16, don't really get fixed next year, and looks like that they could break that. Um, and going off of last year, they hadn't won since like December, whatever. They were showing up like December 6th or something. So yeah, they have a chance to break that.
Man, that's that's the type of stuff you look at and go, "Oh yeah, nobody's ever gonna break that." And then somebody gets close and is like, "Oh man, how's another team this awful?"
Yeah,
Like,
it's bad, man. But anyways, talking about bad. Yeah, my Cowboys not looking too good neither. Um,
yeah, yeah. Let's get to them fellas. That I told myself I was gonna stay off the Thanksgiving Day games, and then I see this nice little opportunity come in some live action, and of course the Cowboys don't deliver.
yeah, yeah. Cowboys lose in overtime, 36-33. Back-to-back losses. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for us at all. Um, Especially with the like I said, what I previously said, the Eagles and Washington gained on us. This is not good.
Yeah, I
One
was gonna
thing
say that 7-2 record, seems a long ways away now, don't it?
the only bright spot is that they're both to AFC teams, so it doesn't hurt us as bad as it would with NFC teams. They were both to AFC teams, so there's at least that. But yeah, the story of this game, man, is fucking terrible penalties. All game, 28 penalties accepted. The refs were shit. They were fucking shit. Um, Awful. Just taking tack penalties all game. Egregious missed penalties. Like my God, they were awful, man. They had and it just really came back to the play. The last play, they call pass interference, and it's bullshit. It was a bullshit pass interference. The guy, it doesn't matter if he doesn't turn his head. He can't turn his head if the guy is bringing his head into his goddamn chest. How is he supposed to turn his head? He's literally grabbing it. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. What do you expect him to do there? You can't get his head around. You can't call that. He didn't touch him. He wasn't grabbing him. The receiver is grabbing him. Like what the hell? How are you gonna call that? It was so bullshit. Like my God, man. And they call roughing a passer when Derek Carr is going to the ground. He's a runner. I mean, he's a runner. He's not a passer at that point. So what are you talking about? I can call roughing the passer when he's like running and then he falls down. There's no head, hand to the head. That doesn't exist when he's a runner. That's stupid. I mean, my God, just egregious holds that weren't called on Michael Parsons because Michael Parsons was tearing that offensive line up, and they weren't calling the holds on him because he would have got a lot more sacks if they were calling those holds. Just, it was terrible, 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 terrible refs. But I mean, we started slow. Um, Dak was a little off. He missed the bad miss. He threw behind I think it was Noah Brown, and when we got the ball in overtime, and we got the ball first. He could have got that first down. He was open, and he just missed them. That was a killer for us. Um, yeah. And we again we couldn't get the run game going. 2 weeks in a row, just no run game. I don't understand why we can't get it going. They said Zeke's been dealing with some knee injury or something. But we got Pollard. Like do something. We got two backs and we can't run the
Yeah, I
ball.
was gonna say it's time for your first string back to shine out.
Well, not no, because Pollard can't do the runs that Zeke does. He just can't run between tackles as consistently as Zeke does. I mean, if he was doing it, if he was a starter, you would see that he can't do that. He can do the outside runs. That's where he makes his plays. But yeah, we were missing both the receivers. I mean, Dak really only had Gallup to throw to. Gallup was the one that was making the big plays because he had two big plays on to the sideline that gave us big chunk yards. Pretty much kept us in this game. Um, but that's pretty much all he had. The rest of the receivers, Cedric Wilson stepped up a little bit. But yeah, he didn't have CD, didn't have Mari. I mean, what do you really expect with all those guys? And yeah, so what do you think, man?
Well, I did. A question came to mind. So let me ask you, what do you think about the potential of something like making refs full time instead of part time employees and having more or less it orchestrated and set up to where more focus and dedication can be put towards the craft of refing a game? Because by no means do a lot of these people get into being a ref going, I'm here to screw people over.
Mm-hmm.
Like there may be some guys that becomes their mentality, but I seriously doubt that we would continue to see people take on this profession at all sorts of different levels, regardless of the sport, because they wanted to get out there and screw people over. Um, it's something we've seen in the past be a strong issue. Uh, and so, it's just, I was curious what your thoughts are because I did see that last pass interference play. And I agree with you. Like to some, all right, if you're throwing the flag there, I don't think that the defensive player could, basically adequately do what he needed to avoid the defensive pass interference. But if you're only looking at it from the letter of the law of defensive pass interference, okay, it was just a quick, clearly just a quick, easy, simple violation. Uh, but like you said, there was other factors in there where, if at minimum it may be more a no call than just simply one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, if full time helps it, I mean, at this point, do it. Just make better calls. Like I don't know what else you can do. Um, I don't know. Whoever's in the top official who's looking at everything can calling down to the field and make try to switch up the calls. I don't know what you do.
Well, see, I think that would be more doable if we didn't live in a society that thinks every other game is rigged and the NFL has their fingers dug in so far in. Like, I'm sorry, the amount of people it would take to be involved in rigging a game to the point that it is nowadays and that they try and claim, you wouldn't be able to keep that amount of people silent afterwards. Somebody's talking at some point, whether it be 50 years down the line, somebody's talking. It's that simple. But yeah, I think part of that is they don't want to undermine some of the integrity of what's on the field because you don't want a coach or somebody standing in a ref's face like your man upstairs probably gonna overturn it. Let's send it up to him. Like you sort of need that authority to be like, no, it's final, it's done, it's over. I said, this is what it is. And so when you start to undermine that a little bit, not saying that replay does that, but you know, basically, if a coach feels strongly enough, you throw that challenge flag, you know.
Mhm.
But when it comes back, whether you agree with the call or not, this is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I know someone who's happy about my Cowboys losing because he's a dirty, dirty, rotten Giants fan. Um, but that is my good friend and better rival, Ferris Muthana.
All right, hey, time out, time out. I'm not a Giants fan. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
bullshit. You're not a
yeah. Here
Chargers
we
fan
go.
either.
Here we
You,
Shut
go.
up.
you need to calm down with that nonsense, sir. I am a Los Angeles Chargers fan, sir.
Oh,
I don't know this Giants fandom you speak of. That organization is horrible.
He said
They are
he said
bad.
powder blue, not dark blue.
Yeah, yeah, powder blue, homie. Powder blue on Sundays with the lightning bolt on the shoulders. ALT. You know, LaDainian Tomlinson, not Lawrence Taylor. You know what I mean? So I don't know what nonsense you're speaking of, sir. Okay. And no offense, I wanted a tie. Okay. I didn't want to win. I wanted a tie because you know why? Because both teams can't lose. And guess what? A tie pisses off both teams. And I hate the Raiders. And you know what? Everybody hates the Cowboys. But I don't hate them because I'm a Giants fan. Because I, sir, am a Chargers fan.
you're not a
Okay.
Chargers fan. Shut up.
I'm a Chargers fan.
You are
Okay.
not.
Yes, I am. I don't know them nothing. They ain't loyal to me. I ain't got to be loyal to them. They ain't loyal to they gave me what? They gave me 10 years of what?
They gave you
Of
David
garbage.
2
Gettleman.
Super Bowls. What the hell are you talking about?
And they fired that man. Who cares?
How many Super Bowls have Chargers won?
Not,
Exactly. So what the hell are you talking about?
hey, let me have this. Okay? Let me have this. All right? Stop ruining my mood. All right?
Nah,
Sir?
nah. Look, all you got to do is remind them of the Aaron Brooks times,
Yeah.
or who was it in Dallas?
Oh no,
Uh,
what's his name? Achilles Smith? No, that's not Achilles Smith. No, it is Aaron Brooks, right? Quincy
Yeah.
Carter.
yeah, Quincy
Quincy
Carter. There we
Carter.
go.
Quincy Carter, yeah. Shout out to Quincy Carter, wherever you are. He's probably like an offensive coordinator in some high school.
Or, arrested for something. I don't know. I'm just
Or
kidding.
he arrested for something. It was one of them. It was one of them.
But yeah, I
But
agree
yeah,
with
man, dude.
Pagan. Fuck off with the Chargers nonsense.
Hey man, why y'all keep disrespecting the Chargers, man? Cause what? Cause we have a great quarterback in Justin Herbert. That we have a multitude of weapons and wide receivers that are phenomenal. We have Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. I've been watching Keenan Allen since he was in college. He went to Cal, baby. He's Berkeley boy right there, man. That's my dog. Hey man, pound for pound is Austin Eckler is the best running back in the game. And we have one of the best offensive
Yeah, the only
linemen.
problem
Young
is he's like 150 pounds.
well, he looks like he's 200, but that's not the point. That's not the point I'm making. All right, we got Joey Bosa. We got the nose. I call him the nose. The nose gets after it.
Maybe
Has a
that's why he
nose for the
had like
ball.
5 offside penalties.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nose a little too big. It
Yeah,
crosses
so
the
what's
line of
Mr. Carter?
scrimmage.
What's up, LVHG? I don't know if this brought any or sorry, but happy
About to
Thanksgiving.
I know we will
I think
have
it's-
to
I think it's Jose.
decipher the comments. To
I think it's
see.
Jose. I think it's Jose.
And yeah, cheers, French.
But cheers, French. Well, you know what, Dagan? You'll watch it this year. The Chargers are going to do something in the playoffs. You watch yourself. We're going to win. We're going to make it. We're going to make it to the title game.
But Ferris, what were your thoughts on the game?
We talking
Raiders,
Cowboys?
Cowboys.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So my thoughts were is this: y'all had a lot of some of those flags they were penalties, and it was your guys' fault, and some of them were 28. Not all 28 are gonna be good penalties. You had 28 penalties called on you, or was it 28 combined?
Combined.
Was it 28?
It was 28
20 combined.
Yeah.
Oh wow, sheesh. Well, wow, both you people are undisciplined human beings. It's like undisciplined. The Anthony Brown one, when you're talking about the end of the game, I don't agree with that one. Because I saw his hands. His hands were like right like this. His hands were like spread out. And the only problem with Anthony Brown is this is the thing they tell our cornerbacks to do all the time. Always turn your head. If you don't turn your head, they're gonna call a penalty on you. They literally they tell you all the time that. Yeah, doesn't matter. Like you have to be like not touching the guy to not get it called. But if you're like probably touching him or not, or like a little like tap, make sure your head's like this. Make sure your head's like that because they're not gonna call it. because that means to the ref that he knows where he is, and he knows where the ball is, and he knows where he's going to position himself.
Well, and also it's
yeah.
making an attempt on the football.
Yes.
Like basically they're saying we'll allow that contact if you can show you're making an attempt on the football. Well, if you don't know where the football is, how are you making an attempt on the football?
Yeah, that's pretty much. See, that's the savvy veteran cornerback things that people do. Anthony Brown, he's only been in the league for what, 3 years? 2 years?
No, he's been in the league for a while.
Really? Wow, he sucks. He is horrible.
I wouldn't say terrible. I mean, he has like 3 or 4 picks this year.
That don't mean nothing. Look at that.
This is the 21st century NFL where they possibly throwing the ball 50 times in a game. So you could fall down and end up with a pick.
Well, that's not terrible. I mean, if he was terrible, you got 0.
Nah, man. Like, if he's been here a while, he should know about that savvy trick. Like, you have to put your head up.
Again, how can he do that when the guy is grabbing his head? He can't turn his head if he's getting grabbed.
Was Zay Jones grabbing his head? I didn't see him grabbing
he was grabbing his head into his chest.
That's offensive pass interference.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying.
It was a dumb fucking call.
If you look at the play, it's it's most likely a no call situation. But if you look at it just from was this defensive pass interference aspect, yes, you could throw the flag there. But like I said, that's where I think, because I was mentioning, and I'm curious what you think, Ferris. Should NFL refs be a full-time occupation for these guys so they can, develop that craft, dedicate the amount of time necessary?
Too much money, too many eyes, too many scrutiny. You need dedicated refs. It's too much money on the line. And I'm sorry that I keep bringing up money. Like, it's a lot of money on the line here. Like a lot.
The NFL is a business. That's how we've heard our entire lives is the NFL is a business. This is a multi-billion-dollar business.
So you need refs that are jobs is to be NFL refs. No, none of this. Like, I don't need to know that you work at a steel mill and you're off time. Like, no. It's like, no, I am a ref. I learned how to be a ref year round. Because and plus this is a primetime game. It's a primetime game. Everyone's watching. This is the only game on. So the millions of people are watching. Even people who don't watch football, they watch football on Thanksgiving. And this isn't like, you need them to be very good at being ref. And here's the thing too. Stop splitting up the groups. Here's my issue is they take the best player, the best ref from each position and mash them up. No. Do it unit based. Who's the best unit? And you reward the unit. And if the unit moves on, other units are going to up their game. And, you know what I mean? Incentivize, bonuses. You know what I mean?
You could kind of do it that way, but I think there's a potential issue you get into where you don't have the same caliber of refs or the potential for same caliber refs at all the games, even if they were a full-time occupation. Because you don't want the potential to say one game literally had better refs than the other, or vice versa. Because
they do that in the playoffs. What they do is they take the highest rated ref at each individual position, and they put them together in the playoffs. Like, oh, this is the best line judge. This is the best head ref. This is the best back judge. Like, and then they mash them up together.
But you also got a lot less games going on.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point.
Well, anyway,
but on the note,
all the refs that are in this game.
On the note is they should be full-time refs.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yes, they should be full-time refs, most definitely. I agree.
What's up, Matt?
What's up, Matt?
But yeah, Cowboys play next Thursday. So we.
Hey man, can I say something? Man? Can I say something?
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of these mother lovers complaining about the Lions on Thanksgiving. You know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing, losers.
No, we have a right to complain. We don't deserve this fucking mess on Thanksgiving. Why the Cowboys? The holiday with
no. Time out. The Cowboys have been playing on Thanksgiving since 1966.
Yeah, but again, like I said, a lot of people hate the Cowboys, and when we lose, they feel happy.
But but you act like y'all every Thanksgiving y'all play good. No,
that's what I'm saying. Years y'all were horrible. If we play bad, then people are still happy because they hate us.
Yeah, it's a catch-22.
I know, but y'all shouldn't be on Thanksgiving then. Then you shouldn't be
No,
on
because
Thanksgiving.
we'll
Then
still put out an entertaining game. We put out an
No,
entertaining game
see,
today.
Ferris, you're not looking at it the right way.
The
If they
Cowboys
look,
with Quincy Carter were going to be an entertaining game.
Yeah,
no,
a lot
but
of
see,
times
No.
they
that's
do. A
that's
lot of
the
times they
kicker
do
there,
put out an
Ferris.
entertaining game, no matter
If
who's out
they
there.
lose, half the fan base is happy. If they win, half the viewer base is happy. If they
Yeah.
win, half the viewer base is happy. Like there's no lose there. And in the
Okay, man.
process,
One more thing.
we're more
Let's stop.
likely than not
You know,
going to get a better game. Or
I'll say
at
this.
least,
I'll say this. I'll say this. Let's stop acting like the Cowboys fans are like half of America's population.
It
Okay,
is.
they're like
We
they're
have
like
the
they're like a
most fans.
smidge.
We
They're
have
just
the
a
most
smidge.
fans.
hold up,
There's
because
literally
literally,
numbers there. That's a little
hold up,
factual
literally
Show me the
this
facts.
past week.
Where are the facts?
You can look it
Where are the
up.
facts?
No, I
You can
won't
look it
say
up.
it's
Look it up.
Cowboys
You
fans,
look it
but
up.
people
You
watch
asked
the
the question, look it
Cowboys.
up.
3 out of the top 5 most watched games this year
Yeah,
had the
Cowboys.
Cowboys in them.
Yeah, so
Yeah, you're
shut
right.
the hell up.
I won't say that's
Yeah.
solely the Cowboys, but yes, people watch for that name and brand recognition because another team that was up there in that same top 5 multiple times was the Tampa Bay Bucks. And that has more to do with Tom Brady, but they're still there.
Thanksgiving
Thanks.
Lions games is a
Mm.
reminder to America to be thankful that your team is not worse. Here's the thing: they created the Thanksgiving game. Okay,
Who
they
cares?
created it.
So
Let them have something, man. Their team is
no, they
awful
don't
every year.
deserve anything.
Let them
They
have
don't
this.
deserve anything. They're
They're
garbage.
not. They're never on prime time anyway. This is the only prime time game, and it's always the early game too. It's the game where people are asleep. You know what I mean? I woke
That's
up
just
and the
because we're
game
on the
was on.
West Coast, Ferris. That's because we're on the West Coast. You don't care about the East Coast people.
I don't. I don't. You know, shout West Coast, Best Coast. But still, I'm asleep when that game's on, so I don't mind it.
Like I
You know
said
what
the other night in the Discord, whatever game you was watching, who's watching this game? The West
Yeah.
Coast.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm watching Hawaii versus San Diego State at midnight.
Wait, football
Well,
or
nine-
basketball?
Football.
Okay, I was about to say.
Not,
If you said
9:30.
basketball,
Yeah, not 9:30 my time, by the way.
But yeah, like I was saying, we only have a week to get over this because we play again Thursday night against the Saints.
You're gonna win that game.
Who lost
Yeah, their
in
asses beat.
a horrible fashion, 31-6
Blood whooping.
against the Bills. Bills had total control in this game from pretty much start to finish. But Saints really don't have any weapons on offense to really do anything. They have Trevor Siemian at quarterback. They haven't won a game with him. They've been underdogs 3 straight times, considering they've lost all these games. I bet on this game. This was one of my picks in my betting article. I took the Bills -5.5, and they obviously covered with
the
flying.
real insult is that the Bills were only favored -5.5.
Yeah. But yeah, I was confident in this game. I like I said, I was going with the trends on this one with the away teams.
Well, like I said earlier, a Sam Darnold Panthers team comfortably beat the Saints.
Yeah, and it's even more crazy that their offense couldn't really do anything because Josh Allen was giving them chances. Like he threw 2 picks. He was trying to get him into the game, but they didn't want to get back into the game. And
That's what happens when your quarterback is Trevor Siemian.
Well, not even so much that. The wide receivers they have. Something I noticed because I caught some of the game. They don't know the nuances of the system. They hadn't been around long enough. Not to say that they aren't grasping it or anything like that, but basically it was a situation where they were in the red zone or near the end zone or something. Wide receivers running a corner route. He ends up getting to the corner. And he doesn't end up coming open. And more or less, he's supposed to retract back towards the middle of the field going along the baseline. And he doesn't do that. And essentially, you see Sean Payton like wording it on the sidelines, basically saying what he was supposed to do. And it was just clear, like, the guy knew the play. He knew his route. He knew what he was supposed to do. It was just sort of like you mentioned earlier, those little veteran nuances that come with sort of knowing a system inside and out. And so, it's just, like I said, no weapons, no Kamara, no Michael Thomas. I mean, Who you worried about on that offense? I mean, literally, like who?
Traquan Smith. No,
Yeah.
nobody. No, I'm kidding. Look at Derek's face. Derek was like, "Who the fuck is Traquan Smith? Fuck him."
No, I'm
Son
sort
of
of
that
mad
guy.
because I know who
Yeah,
Traquan Smith is. Like he's number 11, or that might be
yeah.
Harris. But yes, I know who Traquan Smith is
Yeah.
Adelia, as someone who had Trevor Seaman as their quarterback for a while, allow me to say that I don't understand how he still has a job in the NFL. That's
because he
true.
learned from the ultimate hustler himself, Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, man, Brock Cosman, he got that money, man. Got that money, man. No, but seriously though, they also lost Andy. They also lost Andy Troutman last week to IR, so they didn't have any tight ends. Like literally, no one on the Saints offense scares you. Like Traquan, Juwan Johnson, like nobody, like absolutely nobody. They have nobody. Like Jameis Winston, like he's in, like they have absolutely no one, like no one. And of course, they lost his game. They lost his game to a better team, and the better team dominated them. And especially that y'all saw that route by Stephon Diggs on Marshawn Lattimore, that zig where he stutter stepped out, then stutter stepped in, then popped back out. Man, that was nasty. That was nasty, man. Like it made
See,
Marshawn Lattimore look like not an all-pro corner.
I was gonna say I won't say Lattimore is trash, but he's
He
a hell
wasn't.
of a
He's
lot.
not.
Yeah, he's a hell of a lot better though when he's got a pass rush. You take away that
Mm-hmm.
pass rush, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you don't see him locking down people the same way because something like that quick slant, like when you
Gets
can
him.
sit on it more, that's something
Mm-hmm.
easier to anticipate.
Exactly.
When you know your rush isn't getting there and the potential, even if they show that quick slant, you can't bite on it the same way because there's still the potential that the play is going to be alive because they don't throw that quick slant.
I always say this, man. For a defense, you got to build it inside out. Inside out, man. If a great defensive line hides a multitude of mistakes on the back end, you know what I mean? Like, let's be real here, man. The Tampa Bay back end ain't that good. Like, it's fine. It's okay. But that defensive line and those two linebackers are some nasty human beings. You know what I mean? And Vita Vea is injured. So imagine with Vita Vea. That's what same thing with the Saints. They have literally lost everybody not named Cam Jordan.
They
What's
got
his face?
Taysom though.
He don't play defense. He gonna
We
play
don't know
defensive end.
that. We don't
That's
know
true. We don't
that.
know
They
that.
can throw him
He
out there.
could.
Let's see.
It's
He the
good, man.
Swiss Army knife. I'm sure he got,
Yeah,
a toenail clipper in there he can bust out.
exactly. And man, he getting paid like a multifaceted player. Let him play defensive end. Let's see it. Let's see it, man. Play defensive end, homie. Play
You know what
tight
I'm
end,
saying?
running back, quarterback. Play defensive end. Let's see.
All right, and Ferris, I wanted to ask you, after this Bills win, who you got for the AFC East, Bills or Patriots?
AFC East.
Yeah,
I have I have the Patriots just because Josh. If see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Josh Allen threw two interceptions, right? He threw two interceptions in this
mm-hmm.
game. The Patriots would take advantage of those two interceptions, unlike the Saints did. That's my thing. That's the thing. That's because it's like right here, like they're neck and neck. But if Josh Allen does his Josh Allen things and throws those two interceptions, unlike other teams, I think the Patriots will take advantage of that, and that's the only reason.
Here's my
But if
question. Do you think they take the same risk playing a Patriots defense as they would playing the
yeah,
Saints defense?
no, you're right. You're right. The Patriots defense is better. That is completely correct. So probably not. So if that it is, then the Bills are probably going to win. If they rein in Josh Allen, and I think Sean McDermott can rein him in. So I'll switch it over to the Bills.
Because that's
Yeah.
like I saw them. They ran a screen pass late in the game. More or less, you could tell they weren't trying to run up the score.
Mm-hmm.
But more or less, defense being out of position slightly. One offensive lineman took out like three defenders.
You know
Beretta
what?
just bust up them, in between to get, the seals
You know
and
what, man?
untouched.
I think NFL teams should run up the score. Run it up, man.
I mean,
Like
you don't
like
want to get players hurt. That's why they don't. Backups.
man.
Oh no,
If
that's
they're
BS.
if
Because if
they're
that was the case,
nah,
they wouldn't put them in the game. Like, let's
exactly.
be real, because this is something I heard even decades back. Uh, you know, even as far as it's been put in Madden games where they make a point of basically saying and pointing out that in the NFL, whether it's a blowout or not, you don't pull your quarterback because that's just something you don't do. And honestly, I can say when I played, regardless of the situation, if I'm not playing bad, you don't take me out. Like, and it's not any sort of reflection on me, but I want to be out there. Like, don't let me be on the sidelines, regardless of the sport, and see the person in my position make a bad play because I'm gonna be looking at you like, yo, why am I not out there? I had that. That's me all day, and you know that.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's all the Thanksgiving games. Hopefully everybody enjoyed them. Really, there was
Hope
only
everybody
one game
enjoyed
that was good.
Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Did you have a
Yeah.
good Thanksgiving?
Um, could have been better.
Well, excluding the game, Caleb, did you have like a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah. We had some
I was
good
gonna
things.
say you ain't had to go to work today, Caleb. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. We had family over. That was nice. We were together. We were together on Thanksgiving, so it was good. Um,
What about you,
uh,
Derek?
oh yeah, no, actually I had to go clock in for a little bit tonight. But for the most part, yeah, it was pretty all right. Got to chill out in the early part of the day.
yeah. All right. Well, we'll get into the rest of the games. Picking the games for this week, and we'll start it off with the Steelers Bengals. Who you guys got?
Sure.
I got
Give
the
me the
Bengals.
Bengals. Yeah, give me the
I got the Bengals.
Bengals. Like, I mean, yes, it was impressive what we saw out of Big Ben, but I don't think we see that same sort of spark or energy. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know if you
I'm going Bengals because of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is gonna show up and show out.
and Jamar Chase.
That too.
That's like I don't know if y'all ever seen For the Love of the Game, but that's like at the very end when he's like, I'm gonna throw this curveball. It's gonna be the ugliest curveball they've ever seen, but ain't nobody gonna expect me to throw it. That was Ben Roethlisberger against the Chargers. He was like, "Look, we're gonna go out here and we're gonna throw it deep. We just gonna sling it deep because they ain't expecting it. Just
Mhm.
give me like 3-4 seconds and we just bombing it."
And the Chargers didn't have Asante Samuel Jr., so their best corner wasn't playing.
No, I think he was out there.
He had a concussion.
Well, then he
He
might
had
have
a
gotten
concussion.
it in the game because I saw him out
Yeah,
there for some part.
yeah, yeah. He got it in the game. Then he left.
Okay.
He wasn't in the entire game. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Bengals as well. I mean, Steelers tied with the Lions, so why the hell am I going to pick them? Um, yeah.
Steelers are tied with the Lions.
No, they tied with the Lions, so
Oh, they
I'm
tied
not
with the
gonna,
Lions. Oh yeah, they're not very
I'm
good.
not going to pick a team that tied with the Lions.
Yeah,
Thing.
we need
Uh,
more ties in the NFL.
Yeah,
so
so
yeah,
people know that they exist.
Yeah, exactly. Najee Harris.
yeah. I'll go with the Bengals. But the next game, Tampa Bay at Colts. This is one of my betting picks. I'm going with Colts plus 2.5. Yeah, the Bucks seem to be getting back on track with a big win. That's the Giants, but it is the Giants, so
Yeah, it's the Giants, bro. The Giants are horrible.
I'm not gonna believe in that. I'm not gonna believe that they're back on track. I'm still gonna believe what they were the previous 2 weeks, which wasn't very good. So
They
and
are who we thought they were.
yeah, so as long as Carson Wentz still plays pretty good, limits his mistakes, I think they can outright win this game. But I'll take the 2.5 points anyways, and yeah, I think they'll take this. What about you guys?
I'm taking the Colts outright, straight up. Yeah, you know what?
Uh,
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you what. Is that did I use that word? Am I using that word correctly? Am I using that correctly?
Straight up money
Outright,
line.
straight
Yeah,
up,
there you
Yeah,
outright.
go. No
straight. Yeah,
spread
straight up.
involved. Yeah,
No,
there you
no,
go.
yeah, no. I'm taking it because they're gonna win. You know why they're gonna win? Because it's defensive line against offensive line. It's Quentin Nelson and the big boys versus Ndamukong Suh and them. And who if they establish Jonathan Taylor early and often, Colts are getting it. Colts are getting it. And I think that they're gonna do it. JT is gonna run amok again. He's gonna run amok again. Going Colts.
Eric?
Um, I think I'd have to look at the injury list. I know Tampa's been a little banged up. I think last week, I heard talks where maybe Antonio Brown would have possibly come back then. Of course, he didn't. But that's something I'd look at for this coming week. Um, Colts are running hot, and it's hard to get in front of a hot team. Uh, as close as that spread is, that 2.5 point range. Something to definitely look at is the money line if you're leaning towards the Colts. But yeah, I'm gonna go Colts on this one, though I would not be shocked if it went the other way.
All right. Next game we got Derek's Panthers at Miami. How you feeling about this game, Derek?
I ain't gonna sit here and say there's a such thing as an easy win. We all saw what Houston did the other week, so you
Yeah.
know, yeah. Like, I'm not. Oh yeah, we're gonna beat. No, I ain't even saying that. But I think another week under their belts. We definitely saw Cam was comfortable out there. Um, you saw decision making occurring. Of course, being around the offense, another week and a half or so, is definitely going to help. You heard things like Matt Rule say the lack of deep balls or attempts was more offensive scheme than a deficiency on Cam Newton's part. Uh, Not to say that he couldn't throw the ball downfield.
Mm-hmm.
I think just more timing issues. That's one of those things where a lot of these quarterbacks, they can put the ball 30, 40 yards in the air downfield on the outside of the hashes, but it's having that timing and being able to put it in the right spot. And you don't want to be 2-3 steps behind or 2-3 steps ahead, because in a lot of cases that's an interception. So yeah, straight up, I take the Panthers. Mean defense. The defense came out early last week. They just weren't able to keep it up consistently. Um, so yeah, I'll be on the Panthers in that one. Fade two in his hips.
All right, Ferris.
All right. I'm going Panthers. Just because I don't trust Miami's offense. I just don't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
I trust Cam Newton, and here's the thing too. Cam Newton literally has only been in Carolina again for 2 weeks. It's literally just been 2 weeks. It was like the week against Arizona, and then last week, and now it's gonna be his third week back in a new system. And I think he's gonna be more comfortable this time around. Because here's the thing, because he has this, that the one thing that they don't talk about black quarterbacks is the mind. That's why black people couldn't play quarterback, because they didn't have the mental capacity. Cam Newton is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the league, and I think he's going to pick up this offense very quickly, like he always does, and they're going to explode. Carolina's going to explode, and Miami's going to be the unfortunate victim of Cam Newton's breaking party. Because guess
And
what?
that's
He's going to
quite
be
that's quite
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Because a
He's going to
lot
be
of the things.
going to be
Go ahead.
Superman and prime time dancing, giving balls to little children all over again, baby. It's going to be 2015 all over again. He's going to be like, hey, watch this. Touchdown. Straight up, Cam Newton.
Yeah. I'm with you guys. I think with another week under King's belt, I think he'll get together. Dolphins aren't a very good team. So yeah, I think the Panthers will win this game. Um, Next one is just a tough game. Titans Patriots. Titans 8-3, Patriots 7-4. Who you guys got?
On this one, I'm gonna take the Patriots. They're hot. Titans offense kind of sputtering. They don't know where they're turning for that production anymore. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna be on the Patriots with this one.
There's
The Patriots about to beat the living shit out of the Titans. It's going to beat the living smack out of them. One, Derrick Henry. This is what Derrick Henry did for the Titans, Caleb. He covered a lot of warts. The defense wasn't on the field a lot because Derrick Henry always had the ball.
but they
The
won two
defense
games
is
without him.
against who? Check. Against
Okay.
who? Yeah.
Let's see. They won against the Saints and the Rams. The Rams is a good team.
Ugh,
They beat
oh
them.
God. That's true. No. The Rams aren't a good team. Matthew Stafford is a choke artist. There's a difference. He ruined that game. The Rams would have won that game because they have Matthew Stafford as their quarterback. Let's not talk about that game. But here, the other game is what? They beat the who? Beat the
The
who?
Saints.
The Saints stink. Look at them. Look what they got their asses beat. But here's the thing, man. This is what they get for trying to convince us that Ryan Tannehill is better than Marcus Mariota. He isn't. He is not better than Marcus Mariota. He's not. Ryan Tannehill is a fine quarterback. He was never great. The reason he played very well was number 22 in the back. That person masquerading as a human being, number 22, the monster, the alien, the whatever species that dude was. That guy. He's the reason the Titans made the playoffs multiple years. Not named Marcus Mariota. You know what I mean? They're going to be exposed in these upcoming weeks. Because here's the thing, too. You think Bill Belichick is sitting in his chair and is like sweating? Oh, my God, I'm playing Ryan Tannehill this week. Oh, no. No, he's like, I'm playing Ryan Tannehill this week. Yes. Without Derrick Henry.
Yeah, no, I think Bill Belichick was sitting around going, yo, man, we missed Cam by like 1 week because what we'd have been getting into down there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. The Patriots, their defense always like forms in the mid in these weeks. The Patriots defense is always nasty. You know what I mean? It's always at the beginning of the year that they're not very good, and at the end of the year they're not very good because they kind of tail off. But in the middle of the meat of the NFL season, the Patriots defense is just nasty. It goes after you. It comes like it's a barrage. You know what I mean? Like they were willing to let Stephon Gilmore walk because they knew the scheme was great. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the Patriot way. They don't pay
That's the Patriot way.
veterans.
That's just actually they paid Dante Hightower. They paid Dante Hightower. People forget Dante Hightower got paid, but the problem is he's not no one cares about Dante Hightower like that because he's not famous. So no one talks about his contract. Yeah, good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. He pays his defensive players. Actually, people.
No. I'm not saying people don't get money, but if you're a veteran player, you're more likely to get cut or traded before they are going to re-sign you to anything.
That's true. Or if you're Jamie Collins, they'll just send you to Cleveland and then tell you to come back, and then you get sent away again. But I digress for Jamie Collins.
Yes, but that's what they did with Van Noy. They was like, "Yo, look, we don't want you, but if things don't work out, feel free to come on back, especially if they're gonna pay you to come play for us. Yeah, let's do it that way."
Exactly. Like Van Noy went to Detroit, then he went to Miami, then he was like, "I'm coming back." You know what I mean? Oh no, he went to Miami, then Detroit, then he went back to the Patriots.
And and Miami's still paying him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting paid by another in-division team to go win games against them.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, I don't give a fuck about the Patriot way. I'm going with the Titans. I still think they're good without Derrick Henry.
You're on drugs.
I think Mac Jones gonna have a bad game. So I'll take the Titans.
Who on the Titans defense actually is good? Tell me.
I don't know. They've been playing well. At least better than they were.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Patriots gonna drop 30 on them.
All right, we'll see. So next game we got Eagles at Ferris Muthana's New York Giants.
I don't know why you keep saying this fake news, bro. I'm not a Giants fan, so I don't know what you're talking about right now. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what this is. No. I am not a Giants fan. Yes, okay? No, I'm not.
So, yeah, are your Giants going to win? Are your Giants going to win?
No, man, the Eagles are going to win. They're going to win. Let me tell you, they're not my Giants, by the way. I just want to point that out. The Eagles are a better team. They're a better team. Let me tell you why. The Giants have no offensive line. They have no right guard. They have no left guard. They have no guards, period. No guards. They have no center. The only offensive lineman that's good is Andrew Thomas. All the wide receivers are either hurt or absent. When your starting left tackle has more touchdown catches than your $40 million wide receiver and your first round rookie wide receiver, that says something, okay?
That says you're the Giants.
It says you're the Giants. You're an awful team. It's gonna be a slugfest. It's gonna be a, but it's not even gonna be a slugfest. I think the Eagles are gonna drop like freaking 30 points on them because you know what, Jalen Hurts is pretty good. He's pretty good. I'm not saying he's like a world beater, but he's a good quarterback. He's not horrible. He had a fine game last week. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. He's finally getting on target with his wide receivers. Quintez Watkins, Devonta Smith. You know what I mean? Like the Eagles are gonna win. They're gonna win. What's the line? What's the spread on this?
It's 3.5.
Yeah, the Eagles are gonna win by more than that.
Or, let me see. Yes. Well, I got 3. It's 3 points.
You got 3.
I was curious
No.
what the team point totals were.
I don't have that.
Give me 1 second.
I'll say mine. This is one of my betting picks. I do have the Eagles -3. I think it's only 3 because it's a divisional game. I think it would be
Pretty
more.
much that's it.
It should be more. I believe.
Should be more.
So y'all ain't got no faith in a Jason Garrett-less offense?
No, see, that's what I was about to bring up. Jason Garrett just got fired, and the offense looks a mess. Yeah. So this poor offense is going up against the Eagles defense that is 12th in passing yards allowed per game, 13th in yards, total yards allowed, which means they're in the top half of the league. So that's not good for them. They won their last 2 games pretty comfortably, and the Eagles are 5-2 in the 5-2 against the spread in the last 7 games, and so yeah, I have no problem laying just 3 points in this against a really really bad Giants team. What about you, Derek?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be leaning the same way, even with that spread on it, because I'm looking at the point totals, and currently where I'm looking, they got Giants team point totals at 21.5, with the over plus 105 and the under juiced all the way to minus 135, which basically says a lot of people are leaning towards that under that 21.5, which wouldn't shock me. I mean, we've seen that a lot out of this offense. I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked or surprised if there's some people in the organization. I heard Freddie Kitchens, he's taken over the offense. He does have experience, being in, I don't want to say necessarily big time role, but being in that situation where used to having the attention and the lights on him. So, he may want to come out and try and make a splash. And, on a personal level, on a professional level, capitalize on the opportunity for him, So, but yeah, I think the Eagles should win this one. But, if you want to get a little frisky, shoot, that over 21.5 might be something to look at for that game.
I found a total at 45.
Well, that's probably the game. Yeah, that's the game total.
Okay. Yeah, the game total's 45, I guess.
Yeah, what I'm talking about would be how many points the Giants scored, specifically the Giants, in the total game.
Yeah, I'll take the under on that one.
That's what I'm saying. That's why even
it's a little too much.
Yeah, even at the book, usually you'll see a total with it'll be it'd be minus 105, minus 110, maybe plus 100, plus 105, something like that. So the fact that it's plus 105 to the over and minus 135 to the under, that's the way a lot of people are going. And I would lean that way if I was going to go on the team point total like that.
All right. Next game is another Bears-Lions situation with the Falcons and Jaguars. Pretty dull of a game. I'll just go with the Falcons. Even that's hard to say because they're really bad right now. They can't really do anything on offense, and Jaguars just not very good, not very well coached. And the Falcons are the favorite, so I'll take them. What about you guys?
I'm going with the Falcons because one, I don't trust the Jaguars because Urban Meyer's still their head coach. I don't know why he's still in the NFL. Two, like who Marvin Jones is a massive disappointment. Three, James Robinson is banged up, so we don't know if but he'll probably have a great game. But here's the thing too, their defense isn't very good, and I think the Falcons are going to outscore. I think it's going to be a shootout. They're going to score a lot of points because both defenses stink, but the Falcons stink a little less because they have a savvy veteran in Matt Ryan to lead them. That's why going with the Falcons.
Derek.
I was hoping I could find a game prop for will there be a tie? But yeah,
Yeah, why not? Why not be a tie?
Exactly.
Tied at 35. I'm cool with this.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you turn the TV on. It's like, hey, you want to see a dead body?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
this is a game you show people for them not to love football.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like, I'm pretty sure that people, in other parts of the world are like specifically like, yeah, we're gonna stream this game and be like, you see how dumb these people are? Like, this is what they watch every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, two bad teams like that. Yeah, I have zero faith in Urban. Give me Atlanta.
Yeah, I get you, man. Another crappy game. The pick is Jets Texans.
Hey man, Texans, baby. Woo.
Yeah, Texans. I ride that momentum. The Texans. Yeah.
Texans gonna win.
Yeah, I got Texans as well. Jets are just not
bad. And the problem is Zach wasn't starting for the Jets, not Joe Flacco or Mark White, so they're not gonna play good.
Yeah. And notice how that trade deadline happened, and now they don't have to answer all them questions about Deshaun Watson anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like all that just disappeared from the media cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, he was at practice in sweatpants and warm-up suits, and oh, he's listed as inactive. Yeah, all that gone.
You know what the Jets should do? You know what the Jets should do? They should start Josh Johnson.
Why?
Yeah, because he played very good against the Colts. So why not give him a shot?
Flacco played well again last week,
but he's already played. So let's give Josh Johnson a week.
I mean, Josh Johnson played too.
I know, but give him a start. Like, let him start. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, he's probably not going to do very well.
Hey man, don't you dare disrespect Los Angeles Wildcats legend Josh Johnson like that. Watch yourself.
Sure.
Oh, this is an XFL reference. I was trying to figure out where this came from.
Speaking of Los Angeles, we got the Los Angeles Chargers, not Ferris's Los Angeles.
That is my team.
That's not his team. Against the
That's not even Los Angeles's team.
Yes, that's true.
Against the Delia's Denver Broncos. This is one of my betting picks. I took the Chargers -2.5, just riding the wave of away teams against the spread because they've just been winning all year more frequently than the home teams have been. I think the Chargers will definitely be able to outscore the Broncos, considering the Broncos have only scored 30 points just once this season. They've only beaten one team over 500. And Los Angeles is 4-0 against teams that are currently out of the playoff picture. Broncos are really bad against the spread. They're 2-5 in the last 7 games, 1-4 in the last 5. Yeah, it just doesn't look good for them. So yeah, I'll definitely lay the points here, and I'll take the Chargers on the road. Who you guys got?
My Chargers are gonna win this game because of a multitude of reasons. We're better than them. Period. We have better offensive weapons. We have a better defense, and guess what? I trust our head coach, Brandon Staley, over Vic Fangio. No offense to Vic Fangio. He's a great coordinator. Not a very good head coach. This team has underachieved, actually, because I thought they would be better than advertised. They were my dark horse to make the playoffs, but now they're not going to make the playoffs. And the Chargers, no one on the Broncos team can guard Mike Evans. And none of them can guard Keenan Allen. And guess what? Pound for pound, Austin Eckler is going to run amok on them. And guess what? You know what the X factor is, Caleb? Let me tell you what the X factor is. It's number 10. Number 10 is the X factor because now there's a dimension of running with him. He can run the ball. He's the only quarterback in NFL history to throw for 350 yards and rush for 90 plus yards and 2 touchdowns. Justin Herbert, the
Too bad he's
future.
not your quarterback.
He's my quarterback.
No.
You're not gonna take this away from me. He's my
Danny
quarterback.
Dimes is your quarterback.
No, he's not.
Yeah, you got
No,
the
he's
white
not.
Cam Newton, Danny Dimes.
Exactly.
Danny
Oh
Dimes.
no. Wrong right guy. You know what I mean? I'll take the guy who's 6'6".
Aren't they both
Dude,
like
you know,
6'6"?
dude, Justin Herbert's dude. He's like 6. Dude, he's well, I think. Well, yeah, there's like an inch between them. It's like one's 6'5", the other's 6'6", so it doesn't really matter.
Now you
But,
know
like,
who
Justin-
did you know that one over 500 team that Denver beat this season?
Yes. I don't have
Yeah,
to mention it. So
it's the Cowboys, right? Yeah,
yes,
they blew them out too. They blew them out like 30-16 or something.
it's not a lot. It's 14 points.
No, those are garbage points. Those don't count.
Yeah, those don't
Final
count.
score was
Those count.
14 points. Final score was 14.
No,
Nah, garbage
No.
points don't count. That game was over.
No. Final score. All right, Derek. Who you got?
I'll do whatever the hell I want to do. You gotta tell me what to fucking do. I don't know these motherfuckers nothing.
Let's see.
No, Daly is right.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Chargers, even though my Panthers are still paying Teddy Two Gloves to serve up, them lame ducks out there in Denver. But yeah, Justin Herbert, he definitely does seem to be bid as advertised. He's got the mental side of the game figured out. Now, of course, he's got the physical attributes to go with it. But I think that's the one thing Tom Brady showed people more than anything. Once you figure out the mental side of the game, your body's going to catch up. You can make your body stronger. You can work your body out. You can change physical aspects. But if you don't change that mental side of the game, it doesn't matter what you do physically. Like I actually seen Herbert giving an interview and something. The person asked him a question about how he was sliding down so much. And, he kind of jokingly referenced how, you don't want to take hits and whatnot. But he specifically mentioned there was one instance where he took a good shot and he's standing on the sideline. He's like, yeah, I don't want to do that again. So, yeah, if he's got a chance to slide, he goes down and avoids that extra hit. But at the same time, he's not afraid to run with the ball. So, yeah, I'll be, better offense, better quarterback. You don't really know what's going on with Denver. Yeah, give me the Chargers.
We have big NFC matchup with Rams at Packers. Aaron Rodgers still dealing with that toe injury.
COVID toe.
Yeah, the toe that he had to show everybody in his press conference.
No, what I want to know is why didn't he wait till the cameras were rolling? Because America deserved to see COVID toe. Because clearly he was fed up, I mean, you mean to tell me that nobody had their phone recording or going yet? I feel like the media cheated us on one here.
Yeah, but anyways, I'll take the Packers because Rodgers better than Stafford. Stafford looks pretty bad recent weeks. Yeah, so I don't think they'll be able to. And Packers defense has been playing pretty well, so I think their defense will definitely be able to take advantage of Stafford's mistakes. So I'll take the Packers. What about you guys?
I've been going back and forth at this game because I just have this feeling. That this is a game Matthew Stafford's going to show up for. And he's going to have like a great game. Then there's going to be people on the internet defending how he's a great quarterback. And then it's just me, exactly, just like me. But I'm not falling for that anymore. He probably is going to have a great game. He's probably going to win. But I'm going with the Packers because Matthew Stafford is a steaming pile of nothing. He is a disappointment to me, to the football universe, to Georgia, to Highland High School in Dallas. He is a waste of God-given talent because God gave him a howitzer as an arm. But guess what God didn't give him? the mental capacity and the cojones to actually play the game of football. Because he folds like a like a folding chair on a summer's day when you need to move it to the other side of the barbecue. Wham! That quick and that painful. I hate Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is a waste of God given ability. Because let me tell you this, the Rams should win the Super Bowl this year because of multiple reasons. They have the best wide receiver in the game currently, Cooper Cup. You can debate me, him, Devontae Adams, whatever. He's 1A or 1B. It doesn't matter. He's pretty damn good, right? They have one of the best football minds in the game, Sean McVay. They have two of the best defensive players in the entire NFL. They have the best defensive player, and you know what? Arguably the third best defensive player, Jalen Ramsey. And the reason they're not going to win a Super Bowl is because good old number 9 is okay with 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an L instead of 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a W. Packers are going to win this because love Aaron Rodgers, hate Aaron Rodgers, think he's a massive piece of you-know-what. The man has what football is in his mind, and guess what's going to happen? He's going to go down, he's going to drive on them, and he's going to win the game. Love him or hate him, that's what Aaron Rodgers does. He's going to win.
Yeah.
Now, wasn't this the same guy that said, they needed to bring back Randall Cobb because he was this great, incredible player that they should have never gotten rid of?
Yes, he is.
And we've barely seen the man out on the field, basically. Not to say, that he's not getting snaps, but if he was still so great, all this, like, I ain't gonna call, Aaron Rodgers a dumb player, but I think Aaron Rodgers was a bit full of himself coming into this season.
Oh yeah, he's an arrogant son of a bit.
Yeah, and then the damn Packers gaslighted him a little bit, and so he's been just riding a whole new just wave. And so not to say that he's not talented, that there ain't talent in Green Bay, but I don't know. This is just we talking about a team that lost to the Saints. Same Saints team that we've seen everybody else in the league beat up on.
That was week 1, though.
Yeah, but they also couldn't put away the Vikings. Like, they let them stick around and then lost it in overtime, and that's not the first time they've let a team stick around this season. I forget who they were playing, but there was that one game when there were like 3 or 4 missed field goals in the last
Cincinnati.
5. Yeah. You had multiple missed field goals in the last 5 minutes of the game, and didn't they technically win that game?
Yes, in overtime.
Okay, see? Yeah, you can't count that as a W. No, y'all got lucky. So yeah, I think this game is more a toss-up than some might believe.
I agree.
Who's the home team in this one?
The Packers.
How you think that broke toe hold up in the cold? Like, we saw how Russell Wilson did with his broke finger. Yeah. Playing out there in the snow, and even if it ain't snowing, you still talking about 20-degree weather.
My thing is this. He don't throw it with his toe. He throws with his hand, so we're good.
Yeah, but you move and step and build all that energy and momentum with your feet.
You remember when he beat the Bears with one knee?
Okay, again, your feet is where it starts. We seen, turf toe is a thing. We don't even know what turf toe is because all you got to do is say turf toe, and it's like, oh yeah, he's down for 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
so
like I'm
not
not
the Packers. Who are you picking?
Who are you picking?
Yeah, give me Stafford.
Oh,
well.
Okay.
Oh, good luck with that. All right. Well, next game we got Vikings at 49ers. This is one of my picks because Kirk Cousins it's not a primetime game, so he will show up for this game. And
true, you're right.
As always, he will keep it close. Um, and that's what I'm banking on because they are getting 3 points in this game. And the worst I can see is that they lose by three and it's a push. So that's why I'll take the Vikings with the points on this one. Um, who you guys got winning?
Yeah, I'm right there with you because, like we said earlier, it's been whew, 3, 4, 5 games we've seen Vikings go OT in and it come down to a field goal. So yeah, I'm right there with you on that one. Vikings, what'd you say, +3?
Yeah, plus three.
Yeah.
Fairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Vikings because the Niners beat teams that aren't very good, but struggle with teams that are at least good to great. Well, good to very good to great. The Colts beat them down, and I think the Vikings will do the same thing because the Niners are injured. It's injuries. They have no running backs. They have no running backs. Um,
The
they're
Niners have
now
proven
start.
they don't need running backs.
That's true. That's true. But everyone else is injured. Like Fred Warner isn't there. Nick Bosa, he's in and out. Eric Armstead is in and out. And no offense, I don't trust Prince Aladdin. I'm sorry. Like he ain't someone I believe in. Okay. Like, and if you don't know who I'm talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Just look up Pro Football Reference. You'll know his nickname is Prince Aladdin. That's not me. That's Pro Football Reference. You know, and you know what? Like, and here's the thing about like Debo Samuel as well. He has great games on prime time. He shows up. Then there's games where he just disappears, just vanishes off of the planet of the earth. I think this is one of those games. And no one on the Niners defense, cornerback wise, are you gonna convince me that can stop Jets? Justin Jefferson is gonna cook them because Justin Jefferson needs to cook them. And I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings because also too this the primetime curse don't occur. Kirk Cousins is gonna have like 350 yards, probably 400 yards because his game's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I
You
hate that
feel
man
that
when he does that.
strongly, you go hit a player prop up.
Yes, I don't know what the prop is. Let's go
Well,
350 over 350, whatever. I don't know.
hold on. Y'all go ahead. I'll see if they got anything up, at least at what I'm looking at.
Um, yeah. I was want to go to the next game.
Yeah, let's go to the next thing.
All right. Browns, Ravens, Sunday Night Football. Trying to compete for the AFC North. But I got the Ravens. The Browns barely beat the Lions, and that's pretty bad. Ravens are struggling. I mean, they barely beat the Bears, so it's not like they're doing too hot either.
Mm-hmm.
But if they have Lamar back, he's better than Baker. Baker just looks terrible. He's sitting there yelling at the people in the media all the time. That's all he really can focus on. He doesn't focus on being a better quarterback. Um, but yeah, I got Lamar and the Ravens. What do you think?
I'm going with the Ravens, not because they're better than the Browns, because I think both of these teams stink. The Ravens have no offensive line. Their defense is inconsistent, and sometimes it doesn't show up. But just because they own the Browns mentally, like literally, the Browns could should have beaten the Ravens one year, and then like Lamar had to go take a poo poo, came back and won the game. You know what I mean? And they still lost. The Browns are owned by the Baltimore Ravens, who used to be the Browns, you know, and that's why the Ravens are going to beat them because they own them mentally. They have the better quarterback, without a doubt, and they have the better wide receivers actually. Rashad Bateman and Marquise Brown are better than Donovan Peoples Jones and Rashard Higgins. And the thing is, Jarvis Landry isn't fast. He is not fast. Receivers who aren't fast need to be crisp route runners and create separation other ways. He can't create separation, like no separation. That's why he doesn't have good games. And you know what? Nick Chubb ain't playing. He still got COVID. He's still on the COVID list, I believe, unless he was activated. I don't know for a fact.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I don't trust Baker Mayfield. He's fine, and that's the enemy of great is fine. He's a fine quarterback. He ain't great. He ain't good. He's fine. And that's why the Browns are going to lose because they're okay with being okay. You should never be okay with being okay. And they're okay. Ravens.
There.
Uh, yeah, I'll be on the Ravens in this one. I think when I seen the spread, it was -3.5. The only real instance where I've been sort of in fade Ravens mode has been mostly when they're the home team favorite. They seem to do pretty poorly against the spread there. Uh, Now I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I don't want to sit here and say one way or the other. But that low spread, no offense in Cleveland. Uh, Not yeah, Baker might play, but is he one hit away from being on the sidelines?
Mhm. You probably pay
No
better
run.
with Case Keenum.
That's what I'm saying. Even if we see Baker out on the field, whether it's a sack or not, he finds himself on the ground, he might be out of the game that fast. Uh, and so yeah, I think even with the issues Baltimore has seen, we've at least seen their offense put up points and their defense, you know, not necessarily shut people down, but limit people in the points department. And so yeah, I'll be on Baltimore in that one. And also, I didn't see any props up yet at my book for that Vikings game. But yeah, like I said, I don't know where the number might come out around. It might be somewhere around maybe 305, 320, somewhere in that range. Maybe a little bit lower, depending on how they capping it. But yeah, if it comes out in that range, you push that number on the prop, like I said, to a 350, 400, you're looking at somewhere in the range of like potentially plus 200 to plus 400, maybe plus 500, somewhere in that range. Uh, because like I said, in a game, Vikings got a tendency to keep it close. And we've seen a lot of overtime games, and that's free yards right there if it does go to overtime.
All right.
Mhm.
Let's get. We got one more game Monday night. It's the struggling Seahawks versus
Why
Washington
the hell are these two the prime time games?
against Washington.
These four teams are horrible, horrible.
Because
I hate
they
and I
set
hate the Monday night
the
rule.
they
I
set the
hate the Monday
Sunday
night
and
rule,
Monday
man.
night schedules in stone. That's why. Like
That's
there's no
awful.
change
Uh,
in that.
See, the problem with the Monday night games, man, is that every team has to have a Monday night game. Every
No
team.
BS. They don't give every team. I
They don't.
ain't. I
They
ain't.
do.
Nah, the
Thought they do.
Panthers ain't
I
get
think
one.
they do.
No, they do. You're gonna
Why
get
did
one
the
later in the
Giants get
season.
two? Giants have gotten
The
two.
I don't know. I don't know why the
Well, no,
Giants got
there's
two.
been years where the Panthers didn't get one. I can tell you that for a fact.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I had to
All right.
sit back and watch teams like the Browns and the Jets
That's
be
awful.
on prime time Monday
That's
night
horrible.
football. Yeah, see
It's
multiple
disgusting.
appearances. Uh,
It's disgusting.
that year when they drafted Miles Garrett and had those 3 first round picks, they had
Hmm.
like a Sunday night and 2 Monday night games and had done nothing. Nothing. They were
On
still the
that
same
note,
crap team.
I'm going with the Washington football team
Yep.
because Seattle's horrible. They're not very good. Like they're not literally like I don't know where DK Metcalf's head is. I don't know where Russell Wilson's finger at. And no offense, Jamal Adams, you're a linebacker. Why are you still playing safety? I have
Because
no
they
idea
tell him
why.
to go out there and play safety. Now I agree with
It's
you. He'd
just
probably be
stupid.
a better linebacker, but
It's dumb.
yeah,
No, because they
the
don't
coach.
they don't want to admit that they traded 2 first round picks for a damn linebacker. You know what I mean? That's why. He's a safety. But you can't be a good safety when you only cause 3 turnovers a year. Make no damn sense. You play safety, full turnovers. That's how you but here's the thing too. Tyler Heineke, he'll have a great game, I think, against that defense. It's not a very good defense. And Scary Terry is gonna cook them. I'm going to Washington football team.
Mhm. I'm going with the Washington football team as well. Seahawks don't look at it all. Washington's been winning. Got a big win over the Bucks, so I think they can definitely beat the Seahawks. I mean, that it's even money on this game. There is no point spread, so I got Washington. Probably in a close game, but there you go. Garrett.
thinking back on it, something I might have to go look up. And everybody likes to talk about primetime Kirk Cousins. What about primetime Ron Rivera? Now, off the top of my head, as a Panthers fan, I recall this man not being successful in primetime games, whether it was playoff games, Monday night games, Thursday night games, Sunday night, didn't matter. Not to say that they lost them all, but as a fan, I can recall, sort of thinking like, oh, we got this primetime game. Well, we're going to play horrible. And that's why the rest of the nation thinks we're a crappy team all year long, regardless of how we play. Panthers had the 2015 season. And even at like 12, 13 and 0, people are like, oh, no, that's just a crap team. They've gotten lucky. Like,
I remember that. Remember
so,
that primetime game where y'all destroyed the Vikings?
okay, that was what, one game?
It was in the playoffs.
Okay, still one game. Like,
That's a
that's
good
what I'm
point.
getting at here. Like, you can have 2, 3, 4 games, and like I said, I don't. It's something I may have to pull up personally. But yeah, it's off the top of my head. I don't. I'm gonna fade Ron Rivera and that team. Primetime situation. Russ had a week under his feet to sort of get back. No telling where that situation was with the finger and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree that Seattle's a mess, but I can't bet on Tyler Heineke. Like, can't do it.
I think it's Taylor. Is it Taylor or Tyler? I keep calling him Tyler.
Taylor.
I don't know.
It's one of the team names.
Taylor.
It's Taylor or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Continue.
So who
I
you
just
got?
know he's a
Who'd you pick?
fool because he doesn't walk around going, "Hey, time to crack open a can of Heineke."
Yeah.
So you going with the Seahawks?
Yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks in that one.
All right. Well,
Hey
that's
man,
all the
that's
games we got.
that's St. Louis Battlehawks legend Taylor Heineke.
I was waiting for it, man. You've been like, I was waiting
Yeah.
for it. Like, we done said his name like half a dozen times, and I was like, "Wait, ain't this
I'm
another
so man.
XFL?"
I'm so angry that he got a job, but Jordan Tamu didn't. Tamu was the starter in St. Louis. Man, that's
Yeah,
whack.
but he didn't have Ron Rivera.
That's a good point. So sorry for you, Jordan Tamu.
Like, let's remember, Ron Rivera went out and convinced the Washington organization to trade any sort of draft pick for Kyle Allen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Hey man, y'all gonna watch the USFL? I'm watching that. I'm for sure watching that.
Yeah, I'm
If I
watching
can catch the game, sure, Like, because if
it. I mean,
nothing
Fox.
more,
it's in the spring.
well, I was gonna say, well, no, it has more to do with my schedule. But if nothing more, the XFL gave us the beer snake,
Yeah, I did.
and I mean that was a great thing because not only did it was it birth, but they proceeded to carry it out of the stadium every time, which is a accomplishment in itself. Like,
Yeah.
think about the navigation that had to occur there. Like, so yeah,
A lot of ingenuity and respect and patience.
exactly. And these folks were drunk while doing it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's all the games we got for this week. And that's pretty much the show. Thanks for coming back this week, Eric. Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can catch me at dweatherly90 on Twitter. And I do a weekly segment on the Lunch Break Hot Take podcast on their YouTube channel. So if you come and jump in and hop on, I got a weekly segment when they do their weekly live stream. And other than that, I will be looking to start up a channel here in the near future, probably sometime early 2021, maybe around February. So yeah, I may have more coming y'all's way, YouTube, and things like that.
All right. Well, Ferris, thanks for finally showing up for your show. It's been nice having
Yeah.
you.
It's
Where
nice
they
being here,
can
man.
find you.
Well, you can find me right here at Ferris Blunt on Twitter. Uh, I tweet about a lot of things, Seattle Krakens hockey, football. Apparently, NFL Twitter exists. And no one ever talks about it, so I'm gonna start doing it more often. Um, like you can find me here every on the multitude of shows we had. I'm here on Fridays on occasion. I'm here Thursdays. I
Sometimes.
host sometimes. We do a lot. I do a lot of reviews. I'm gonna review Young Justice. I need to review that. Yeah, it's pretty much it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can find me around, man. I'm just around. Let's Get Ready Network. I'm everywhere.
This is apparently not the show, but
Just shut the hell up. I missed 2 shows and you start complaining.
I mean 2.5, but okay.
Just plug yourself, sir.
All right. Well, you
Yeah,
can find
leave the
me at.
Giants fan alone.
Hey,
All
hey,
right,
hey.
I'll leave that.
Chargers fan, people. It's Chargers fan. I'm a Chargers fan. God damn it.
You can find
He
me
don't know
at.
which LT he rooting for.
Yeah, it's true. Now I got it. Now I'm confused.
You can find me
The one
at
that didn't smoke crack.
NFLKO22 on Twitter.
Yeah.
Other social medias. You can find me tomorrow on this channel for our Friday show. It's more of a hangout, half showdown show, right, Ferris?
Yeah.
I'll be on with Justin and Dayan. So be sure to watch that. You can find all my betting picks on the Let's Get Ready Network.com. And yeah, like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you all have a great holiday weekend.